Welcome, my friends, to my 10th edition of Things to See and Do in Paris. Good news, since I started this series, my viewership has increased by 300%. That's right, 3 times as many people are now watching as before. So, thank you very much. So now we're at the Place des Vosges in Paris, and we're going to do a little tour through Le Marais. That's a very wonderful part of Paris, very lively, always people coming and going. So we'll start up here, and this is the garden in the middle, and I'll show you around where there are some fantastic restaurants and buildings and art shops and what have you. Victor Hugo was famous for writing Les Miserables and The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and he lived in these apartments, the entrance of which we're approaching. It's now a museum, but I've been here a couple of times and it's extremely interesting. Can you imagine living in this building in the 1600s? Absolutely beautiful. Just one of the halls which holds original papers, photos going back in history of Paris. Papers and documents are the ones that designate who can buy what and which buildings belong to whom. Just one of the halls. Just great. There's no one part of Paris that you can take in one day. There's so much to see. Whichever corner of Paris you go to, and every corner is different. Let's head down towards Musee Picasso. For those who are interested in Jewish history, stretching all the way back to the days of antiquity, you must visit the Jewish Museum, situated in the Hotel de Saint-Aignan at 71 Rue du Temple in the Marais district. This building was built in 1640 to 1650, and it is one of the magnificent buildings that has been maintained and renovated and turned into museums here in Paris. The museum holds paintings, stories about famous Jewish people, and also just the general history. It doesn't dwell on the sufferings of the Jews during the Second World War. So it's not a down place, it's always uplifting. So pay it a visit, it's definitely worth it. Everybody knows about the Louvre, Musée d'Orsay, but I have to say one of the most underrated museums in Paris is this one here, the Musée Carnavalet. This is just a little courtyard with Louis XIV. This museum holds the history of Paris and a lot of France. It has artifacts, paintings, sculptures, antiquities. It's just magnificent. If you want to know about the history of Paris, come here. It's well worth it. The Musée Carnavalet. A list of people who have donated to renovate this building. It was closed for quite a few years. I was able to come in before it was closed, and I've been in since it was reopened, and there's a big difference. Musée Carnavalet. Pay it a visit. In 1859, this building was a foundry where they made items in gold and silver. It was also a very upmarket jewellery manufacturer. Today, it's been turned into a clothes store. Very nice clothes store. But a long way from upmarket gold and silver manufacturer. Yes, it's a long way from gold, silver and jewellery. But I have to say they've done a wonderful job on the interior. If you're going to have a clothes shop, you may as well have a nice one. I do love the roof. I will never understand why Madame Hidalgo, who's the mayor of Paris, wants to modernise Paris rather than build on the historic monuments and buildings that Paris possesses. So many. Why not promote these fantastic buildings, most of which, or many of which, have been turned into museums? We are actually looking at the Musée des Arts et Metiers, which is a museum which talks about the history of manufacturing over the last 200-300 years. It holds so many fantastic exhibition pieces. For example, the first movie cameras, the first machines to make carpets, the first flying objects, for example balloons, designs of the first aeroplanes here in France, and just so many fantastic exhibitions. This is just one of the many fantastic buildings in the Marais district. We are in Rue de Rosiers. And it's wall-to-wall food in this street here. Except for this particular store which sells sunglasses and glasses. Food, 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 and more food. This is now, we're at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so lunchtime is finished, but imagine what this is like between 12 and 2. Yep. Rue de Rosiers. It's like a laneway, but it's very busy all the time. Well, thank you very much for joining me on this little walk through the Marais district. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed presenting it to you. Don't forget, if you enjoyed it, just give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm Tony, talking the talk. Keep smiling, stay positive. Until next time, bye for now.